there, I'm Mary Susie from Bead Me a Story. Thanks so much for joining me today for these full Persian charms. I do not know if these have been done before. I suspect possibly they have, but I certainly couldn't find anything on them, so I will say that I discovered it. So this is just basically getting started with a full Persian chain, but we're going to just do the segment where we start one, and then we're going to take some smaller jump rings and we're going to turn these into little chain connectors or charms. This is really fun. I think it's a super cute project. I really love it. Makes great earrings, or I have a kit for this bracelet if you want the materials to come with your project. And then of course I've done a necklace too, and I'm putting this chain out as a video as well. So you can make all sorts of things with these little pieces. You can connect them into mixed media chains or just connect them together like you see here that I did the bracelet. They're a lot of fun to make. It will be better and faster going if you have done full Persian before. I do have a video showing how to do that with rubber O-rings, which makes it a little bit easier to learn because the friction on the rubber O-rings is a little bit greater, so it holds everything in place. But if you are familiar with full Persian, then let's just go for it. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so normally in my videos, I go into some pretty extreme detail, showing you actually how to do each thing very step by step and very slowly. I'm not going to do that with this particular video because there is already a full Persian video out there where I show you with rubber O-rings how to make a full Persian, and that can be done in a multitude of different sizes. So what I'm using here is 18 gauge 1/4 inch jump rings to show you this, but you can do this in a ton of different sizes, and I'll just show you here. This is 16 gauge 3/8, 16 gauge 5/16, 18 gauge 1/4 inch. I've got 18 gauge 20 gauge 3/16. You can go down to 20 gauge 5/32. So you can see you'll be able to make these in a ton of different sizes. This one was a nice middle ground, so that's how I'm going to show you how to do it. But if you don't already know how to do full Persian, please see the other video. I will put the link in the description so that you can get to that. Okay, so you can see right here I have a 2x2x2 chain. So this is 6 jump rings, and they're in a 2x2 formation. So I'm going to pick up this component and I'm going to slip it onto a paper clip in order to do this. And then I'm going to start a full Persian. So this is how you would start a full Persian with closed rings. And so we have everything in place that we need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I'm between these 2 middle rings, and I'm going to try and lift up just this front one that's on the bottom. See how the other one is still laying down below it? And I'm going to pass through the 2 rings that are on the far left. I'm going to try and stay between the 2 that I'm passing through, but I have to pick up this ring. This was the farthest outside ring. I have to pick up that ring on the back, okay, and pass through that one before I can come back through this pair that is the middle rings. Okay, so as I said, please go learn how to do full Persian. That's about the extent of what I'm going to go through in showing you this piece. But this is just a full Persian 6-in-1. I'm just doing it all with jump rings. Okay, and then this ring that I just added, now the second ring we're going to add, we're going to put it just parallel to the one we just did. Okay, so it's passing through all the same things, but because this first one's in place, it's going to hold everything in place for us, so we can just, pop it right through there. It's going to go right through, very easy. Okay, so this is how we start a full Persian, and this is all we need to know of that. So if you haven't made a lot of full Persian, this is a great project for like getting really good at starting them, because that's all you're going to do is start a bunch of them. So again, we had 2, 4, 6 rings to start. And then we added 2, so that's 8 rings for each component that you're going to need. Now, for the 18 gauge, I'm using 20 gauge 1/8 inch jump rings. These seem to be the right size that's going to fit around 2 rings, and that's what we're going to need here. So let me hold this up. And I just want to show you, so we've got the 2 rings on the outside here. You can see I'm splitting those. And then we have the 2 rings that sit right below it. And those are perpendicular to the top 2. And what I want to do is I want to latch on to one of these corners, okay? So I'm going to pick up one of my 20 gauge 1/8 inch jump rings, and I'm going to pass it, hopefully I've opened this enough too. I'm going to pass it through 2 of these rings on the corner that are perpendicular to each other. They're fighting me. Sometimes, a lot of times if I go around the one that's on top first, then I can get through the one below it. But you know what? I just don't have this open quite enough. And you need to open your jump rings just a little bit more to do this. So just keep that in mind when you open your 1/8. Okay, so I'm looking for my corner again. Here's my top row. Here's the row underneath it that's perpendicular. And now you can see I'm going across that corner and linking those together. Okay. Let me show you a little bit from the side. Okay, and then I'm going to close this jump ring. So once I've established this first link, the next one I want to do is going to be the corner across from it. So you can see if this is a diamond, I'm on the top. Now I want to go through the bottom. So that would be like right here and right here. We want to join those 2 together. So let me get another open jump ring. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing. But you can see that this new ring I'm adding is parallel to the one I just added across from it. It's going around the corner that's opposite to it. Okay, and then I'm going to close. And then I'm going to pick up another 20 gauge 1/8 jump ring, and I'm going to join these 2 that I just applied. Okay, so you can see that that is starting our charm or connector, or whatever you'd like to call these. They make great earrings, great bracelets, great to put into necklaces. I love them. Okay, so you can see we've got an end on this side, and now we want to create an end on this side. So the reason I'm doing it the way I'm doing it is you can see if I was just to link this in somewhere, then these 2 rings would just get smashed together, and that wouldn't look all that attractive. So once again, I'm going to be going across the corner. And I just want to show you that I'm referencing what I did on the other side. So I want to hit the same corners that I did on this first side. So when I pick this up, okay, I'm looking at this corner. Okay, so if I come up here to this corner, that's not where I put the rings on the other side. So I turn it a quarter turn, okay, and you can see here's one of the rings that I added down there. Okay, so I can just turn this up, and it'll be these 2 rings here that I want to join. I'm joining across the corner. And then once I get this in place, the second one's easy because I can see it on the other side, or I can just come across. So being that this is here, I'm coming right over here, and I'm going to join this ring and this ring here. Okay, and there we go. So now we're just going to join these on this side, and then we have a complete little charm or little connection piece to use in our work any way that we'd like to. Okay, And what I really like about these is that when you see them, like if you're hanging these as earrings, you're not seeing the full Persian pattern straight on. Instead, you're seeing it tilted to the side 1/4, and you can see how neat that pattern looks. Okay, so I will show you some different ways that I've used these, but that's basically it. So like I said, you need to know the full Persian in order to do this, but once you know that, we're just going to start a whole bunch of full Persians, and then we're just going to make a bunch of these that we can link into our chains, that we can use as earrings, that we can use as a bracelet like you see here. And the other thing I'll mention, when I used it as a bracelet, I just want to show you that when I connected those two at the top and bottom, I actually used 2 jump rings to do that, and that was just to make the bracelet a little bit stronger. Okay, so it had 2 links at every point of contact so that this would be a little stronger, wasn't dependent on one tiny little jump ring. Okay, so when we have all of our full Persian charms or chain links ready to go, you can see that we can very easily connect them just using the jump rings that we put on the ends of these. So in the necklace, I just reopened one of these jump rings and linked it to the next one. And then you can see this very simply got linked to the chain. And that was very simple to do. For the bracelet, I did basically the same thing, but I just wanted to point out that I doubled these jump rings on the end just to make the bracelet a little bit more sturdy. And then just showing you the end, if you're doing an end off of one of these, you have the jump rings from the end, you just use jump ring tatted lobster clasp. And on the other side, I added a little bit thicker gauge jump ring to the end to hook my lobster clasp to. And that is really all there is to it. This is very simple to link into all sorts of kinds of jewelry. You can mix this with mixed media chains. You can add them to just basic chainmail chains. I could have used a beaded chain with this. So many different options, and these also will make great earrings. So I hope you enjoyed this project. Please be sure to like and follow us on YouTube. We would really appreciate it. And of course, all of the kits and supplies that you saw here are available at beadmeastory.com. Thanks so much, and I will see you next time.